All right, that brings us to the very first session, Scaling Smart, the Power of Teams, Programs, and Memberships in Wellness Practices. Before we dive in, I want to introduce you to Abra Papa. Abra is a wellness industry influencer, sought-after speaker, and the creator of multiple six-figure businesses in nutrition and wellness. With nearly 2 decades of experiences, Abra has empowered wellness practitioners to scale their practices by crafting sustainable business models that spark creativity, avoid burnout, and foster long-term success. Known for her ability to blend innovative marketing tools with results-driven strategies, Abra's secret sauce lies in helping wellness and entrepreneurs design businesses they truly love working in. Featured in dozens of media publications, Abra is also the founder of the popular food blog Abra's Kitchen, where her influence extends to millions. She holds a master's degree in functional medicine, is a licensed dietitian nutritionist, and a certified nutrition specialist. Abra splits her time between a historic farmhouse in New York City, Catskill Mountains, and Tuscany, Italy. Wow, that's beautiful. Where she continues to inspire others to embrace vitality and purpose in their lives and businesses. It's so nice to have you on, Abra, and I'll let you take it away.
Thank you so much, Avita, and I'm super, super happy to be here. This farmhouse is not historic. It is old and all things, but I don't know if I would call it historic. But I'm so excited to hang out today and talk about scaling smart. I am super passionate about helping wellness entrepreneurs build businesses that they love without burning out. And that's what today is going to be all about. So let's dive right in. Let me just make sure everything is working. Let me move my screen. Okay, so what you're going to walk away with today, we've got a lot to cover. You're going to learn how to streamline growth while avoiding burnout. You see a theme here. I keep mentioning that. Going to identify when it's time to start a team, if that's a good idea for you now or perhaps in the future. Regardless of where you are in your practice, there's going to be a lot of relevant business gems in this talk, and we're going to get to them. And then we're going to talk about strategies to scale with success. We already went through a fair amount of this. I have multiple businesses. I have my nutrition practice, my digital publishing platform. I'm also a corporate wellness speaker. I'm a speaker and lecturer for university and organizations, and I have been in this business for a long time. I have seen a lot of shifts and changes. I have helped other wellness professionals build businesses that they love. I think we are so blessed to be in this space. It is exciting. It is ever changing. And today we're going to dive into teams, talking all about teams. So let's talk a little bit about some of the benefits of going from this sort of solo entrepreneur, solo practitioner into more of a team. Most of us are in the business of trading time for money. That is what that one-on-one practitioner looks like, that model looks like. When we are in that one-to-one practitioner model, there's an income cap. There's only so many people that we can see in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year. That is what can lead to burnout, is when we're trying to see too many. So in working to scale to a team is how we bridge that gap from having this cap of income to being able to really build a business that is financially sustainable and stable. It also increases our impact and our reach. I cap my clients at this point at 15 a week. That is as many as I will see individually. But gosh, how awesome is it if I know that in my practice, we're seeing hundreds of people a week? That's awesome. Creating sustainable income. You're going to hear versions of that for the next 45 minutes. So perk up, pay attention, drink your water every time you hear me talk about sustainable income, predictable income, etc. Reducing personal burnout, because you're going to have some help on board. You'll have some support. And there's also something really beautiful about shifting from working as a solo person to a collaborative environment. So in many cases, many of us already work in a collaborative way with other practitioners, maybe not directly in our business as part of our business, but I collaborate with a lot of therapists, with a lot of doctors, with a lot of other wellness practitioners on my cases. And there is something so refreshing and wonderful about having that collaborative relationship. If you're thinking, but I don't have time to grow a team, Abra. I can barely juggle the responsibilities of my practice now. I hear you. I have been there. I get it 100%. We're going to go through today a better understanding of when it's appropriate to really think about scaling, and also how scaling can be a way that you're actually taking some pressure off of yourself in your business. So, is it time for you to grow a team? Here are some circumstances that make it really a yes, a very strong yes, it's time to grow a team. You have a wait list. If you have a wait list of clients that are waiting to get in to see you, you should really consider building a team. Maybe it's not that you have a wait list of clients, but that you have other projects that are coming down the pike, and you need to free some of that time up. The time that you're right now trading time for money, working one-to-one, you've got to free some of that time up because you have other projects coming down the pike. You might want to consider building a team. You have a reliable and consistent stream of referrals. You have clients consistently coming in. Day after day, week after week, discovery calls are being booked left, right, left, right, left, right. And maybe you're looking at your dashboard and you see all these discovery calls and you think, I actually can't take all of these clients. It's time to build a team. Maybe you're thinking about building an interdisciplinary team. So when I say build a team, obviously I'm in the field of nutrition, and there are many folks in my field that build a team with other nutritionists. But you can also build a practice or build what I would consider a clinic that's multidisciplinary. So nutritionists and therapists work really well together. Nutritionists and acupuncturists. I worked very closely with an acupuncturist for many years. Functional medicine doctor, or naturopathic doctor, and nutritionists. Health coaches come into this as well. So building an interdisciplinary team can be a very successful business model. And if you're at that stage where you're thinking, gosh, this is interesting, I have referred out for this one specialty 20 times this month, maybe it's time to bring that specialty into your practice. Maybe that would make sense. Or maybe you're just opening a practice, but you want to open a team practice. And that's exciting. That's actually a trend that I'm seeing more and more of in my business coaching world. I'm seeing folks who are coming in and saying, we want to open a practice together. We want to open a clinic. We want to start with 2, 3, 4 practitioners. I love that. We want to specialize in this niche. We want to be really clear about how that's going to work for us. That's exciting. I love that. Bring it on. So it's not just the person that is overflowing with inquiries and needs help, so they build a team. It's also sometimes you're starting out from that place. And there is so much power in teams, so much power. We talked a little bit about this, but I want you to think about how you can multiply your impact and diversify services while maintaining the quality of the services that you provide. And that is definitely a sticking point that I hear from folks all the time, that they're worried they don't want to dilute the power of their one-on-one. And in my experience, when you build a team appropriately, you're doing the exact opposite. You're only growing exponentially in the value that you're providing. Obviously, you can increase client capacity. So I said, I'm only saying 15 is my cap per week. My goodness gracious, if I decide to bring on a team of people and see 100 people a week, that changes the type of practice I have, right? In a good way. Generate more revenue streams. So it might not just be this one-on-one. And we're going to talk about this a lot today, because this is the power of understanding different practice structures. Understanding that everyone is going to bring a unique strength to the table. That is one of the biggest power of teams, is when you work collaboratively, you can say, this is actually my weak spot, and I want to make sure I'm bringing somebody in that can take over this piece of it. And it helps you free up time to focus on growth strategies. This is one of the challenges with being an entrepreneur and running a business, is that you have to be the person that is at the top thinking creatively about how your business is going to change and shift and grow. It's really hard to do that when you're stuck in the day-to-day of the one-on-one. It's very hard to do that. And collaboration 100% enhances client care. 100%. I've seen it for years and years and years. So there are different roles. And, I'm talking about building a team. And I think we're all thinking about, okay, sure, we'll bring in, like I said, maybe a complementary practitioner. I'm thinking about an eating disorder practice where a therapist and nutritionist work hand in hand. It's wonderful for all of that to be under the same umbrella, right? Nutritionists with special focuses can be part of a practice. But we can also think about building a team from the perspective of admin staff that can come in to help streamline operations, to help create systems that help you scale with ease. That's my word for 2025. Ease. That's what we're working on for in my business. That's what I'm working on. And that helps to improve client experience as well. Marketing and business development professionals. Maybe that's part of your team, is that you're bringing in marketing and business develop people that are specializing in one area that you are really struggling in, bringing that person in as a member of your team. You want to really clearly define the roles and responsibilities so you make sure that your practice is operating super smoothly, super efficiently, super effectively, and everyone is getting the care that you want to make sure that they're getting. I love this. I wrote it all out because I didn't want to forget this sentence. The synergy of a well-coordinated team drives both client satisfaction and business success, all while reducing burnout from going at it all alone. If you could learn anything from me today, I want you to learn this. I went all alone for many, 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 many years. And I definitely had success, but I was also exhausted. And it is something to keep in the back of your mind, because when you reach a point in your business where you have built every single piece of it on your own, it's very difficult to turn it over to somebody else. So no matter where you are in your practice right now, one thing that I highly recommend doing if you're considering building a team is to take a bit of time every week, let's say over the next month, in the month of February, and start to write out the systems of things that you are doing every day. I now have a document. A business coach recommended I do this a decade ago, and it is my lifeline. So, when you're running a practice and a million other things, and you touch on, first, I'm going to do a little social media, and then a newsletter, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to market in this way. Write it all down. So you have a really clear template of all of the responsibilities that you're juggling and where you could bring somebody in to help relieve some of that pressure. Some pitfalls that I see when we're thinking about building a team is expanding too soon. So it's different if you're building a practice from go as a team practice or as a clinic. Some folks, they start out, they are working for a year and they're like, wow, I have all these clients coming in and I'm going to build a team of 15 nutritionists. And it's way too soon. They don't have their systems in place yet. There isn't a structure that supports that. It ends up diluting services, and it ends up diluting your energy because you're spending so much time managing all of the pieces. Lack of clear structure when expanding. So really thinking about that system piece, which we're going to talk a little bit about. Building a team with the wrong people. We all do it. Not everyone is going to be the right fit for your practice. You have to be really clear about who that person's going to be and give it a try. Give it a trial. And if it's not working, be able to say, this is not the best fit. And I need to make sure that I am building a team with people that work for my business structure and systems. Overcomplicating it. So sometimes we think about, we need 800 Google Docs to be able to execute bringing somebody on board. Simplify, simplify, simplify. And another common pitfall is losing your mission. So, money is a huge motivator. It's all right. We're business owners. There's nothing wrong with that. Money is an exchange of energy. That's all it is. And it's totally a good thing to have a business that is financially successful. Sometimes if we expand too fast, we lose that mission because we become very, very motivated without understanding what's important to us and our ethics and morals in regards to running a business. There are three things that are necessary. Three things that are necessary to build a team that works. And the first one is communication. It's just like a marriage. You gotta talk it out. You have to talk everything out. So when you're building a team and you're thinking about building a team with multiple practitioners, whether that be 5 nutritionists or even 2 nutritionists, there has to be regular meetings so you're able to really understand what's going on in your practice. Case conferences, roundtable discussions, just regular meetings. Communicate about everything. Have clearly defined roles. I will share with you that I have definitely had experiences building a team that were failed experiences, but also such incredible learning experiences. And this number 2 is something that I learned the hard way, is that you have to have very clearly defined roles for each member of your team so there isn't miscommunication. And there isn't confusion around who should be doing what. Sometimes there's even things like aesthetic differences, right? Where you think, I'm just going to bring social media into this. You think a social media post should look a certain way. Your team member isn't on that same page, and then it feels like a push and pull. So having really clearly defined roles, very, very clear understanding of what your expectations are, that's going to make a huge difference in building a team that works. I'm going to take a moment to talk about this. And I'm actually thrilled that I have the opportunity to talk about this on this platform. Appropriate compensation is necessary in order to have team members that respect you and your business. Because of the work that I do in this world, I see many, many, many job opportunities that come down the pike for wellness professionals. And I see many, many, many of them that are inappropriately compensated. And that sets up a very bad culture for your team, for your clinic, for your business. So I want to make sure that everyone understands, if you're building a team, you have to have the financial resources to be able to compensate appropriately. And if you don't, there will be consequences, because you're not going to have team members on board that believe in your business in the same way that you do. Know that. Okay, so let's talk about some of these systems that scale. We have a clearer understanding of where we're heading, where we want to head in regards to building a team, why it's so exciting and important. And now let's talk about some systems that scale. And in order to do that, we're going to talk about a framework that I think is the most successful, what I have seen to be one of the most successful frameworks for team practices to absolutely explode. And that's bringing programs and memberships into your practice structure. This helps you manage a team with ease. We're going to go into the specifics of it, and gives you a really clear structure for both the clients and your team members. So let's talk through what I mean when I say practice structure. I know we have different types of practitioners on here, but quite honestly, this is going to be relevant for most people. So we have our practice structure 1, which is the most common. This is our sort of one-off sessions, that kind of pay-as-you-go model. You have your initial consultation, you have your follow-up consultations. In my opinion, in order for this to be successful, you really have to get a very clear timeline for clients in regards to session follow-up, the pros, the cons, the considerations. When you're doing this pay-as-you-go model, how are you handling communication between sessions? How are you handling add-ons like perhaps testing or supplements or meal plans? How are you handling the fact that you have to consistently be bringing new people into your practice, because you might not have folks that are staying the long course, right? So if you have somebody that's coming in for one session, then they're not really great about following up. The marketing efforts that you have to engage in to bring another person into your practice is hours and hours of work. So I really want you to consider that. If you're currently in a pay-as-you-go model, think about how it's working for your business and how and if this model is scalable. There's inconsistent income here because we don't know how many people are going to be coming in. At a certain stage of practice, you have a sense, I have, 10 discovery calls every week. I convert that at 80%. So I know that I'll have 8 new sessions coming in. How long do those new sessions take? I talk about this with my nutrition interns all the time in the field of nutrition. That initial consultation is very work heavy. It's very work heavy in regards to the time in session. It's very work heavy in regards to the recommendations that you're providing. You're spending on average, I would say 2+ hours for that initial consult. If somebody's coming in just for one initial consult and they're not coming for follow-up sessions, your time to pay ratio is definitely decreased. When we're thinking about this in regards to teams, we have to understand that there's going to be a very diverse skill level in regards to sales. And I know when I say sales in this circle, people shrink and go, oh, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to hear about that. But the reality is when you're having a discovery call, there is a sales portion of that, right? You are sharing, again, money is just an exchange of energy, but you are sharing, here's the structure of my practice, here is my fee structure. Yes or no, right? Is this a good fit or is this not a good fit? Well, when you're building a team, you're going to have people with very different levels of comfort in regards to having that money conversation. So when you're stuck in this sort of one-off model, there's going to be some inconsistency in regards to income and perhaps even in regards to converting those discovery calls into clients. This model tends to be more successful for therapists, acupuncturists, doctors, therapists specifically because the model of therapy is typically once a week. You go and see a therapist once a week. I don't know anybody that thinks I'll go to a therapist one time and everything will be solved. In my industry, it's a little bit different. I think a lot of folks think that they'll go to a nutritionist one time and it will be okay. So it definitely depends on what industry you're in. Okay, so the systems that work, I'm sorry, this is actually a little bit out of order. I don't know if I skipped. Hold on one second. I think we skipped. Give me a second. Don't look. Don't look. Yep, we did skip. I don't know how that happened. Okay, we're here. Okay, so practice structure number 2 is more of that package structure. So I see this frequently, prepay for a pack of sessions. They're bundled for convenience, typically sold in like a 3-session pack or a 5-session pack. There's pros and cons and considerations to this as well. The same as the first one, communication between sessions. How is that handled? Is that an upcharge? What's the length of working together? Can people buy a pack of sessions and then call you 3 years down the line and say, I still have 1 session left? And can you fit them in your practice at that point? How do you handle add-on services? Some of the team pitfalls, the communication between sessions, that can be a real pitfall in teams, because if you're building a team and you have this sort of package or one-off structure, the pay-as-you-go structure, and one of your team members is getting stuck with communication of 300 messages back and forth with a client, 300 is a lot, but honestly, these things happen. How are you handling that, right? What do these add-on services look like? How much effort are you putting into consistently bringing new clients into your practice? So I think that these sort of the structure 1 and structure 2 is harder to execute with a team. This is my gold standard. This is where I have seen the most success in regards to my practice. This is where I have seen the most success in regards to coaching other folks in practice, is more of this program structure. When I say program, I don't want you to think group program. I want you to still think about that personalized one-on-one relationship, except for it is a predetermined amount of time together. There are a predetermined number of sessions during that time. There's more of this structured outcome-focused solution. This is where I am seeing a lot of success in the field of wellness, is when we're going into more of this program structure. There's very clear communication and boundaries between sessions. There's built-in clarity around testing, supplements, and meal plans. All of that is extremely clear and set up because you're in this program structure. You can cap your practice. So when you have a program structure, you say, okay, I'm going to see somebody. My program is 4 months. It involves 8 sessions. I see every client for 4 months. I know in January, I am opening up spots for 15 clients. My marketing efforts are going to start really hard in December. I'm going to work hard to bring those 15 clients in for January. Then I have 4 months. Then gear up marketing again towards the end of Q1 so I could bring in more clients. So you can have a more defined and clear structure in regards to your business and bringing folks into your practice. This is excellent for a multidisciplinary practice because you can sort of split sessions in a sense. Some of the cons require commitment from clients. There is a bigger financial commitment because you're saying, I only work in this program structure. Here is the commitment. Potentially, you might spend more time between sessions answering questions, but that's built into the program. So it's very clear. So you could do this in a variety of different ways. I'm not dogmatic about what a program looks like. However, you at least have a really clear container that clients are working through. So maybe a 2, a 4, or 6 month. Maybe you're meeting weekly. Maybe you're meeting bi-weekly. I do a fair amount of work with eating disorder clients there. It's a much better suited for weekly. So I will see those folks weekly. We start with a 4-month program. Some of my other folks like GI will do twice a month for 4 months. I bill monthly. Predictable income is your best friend in regards to scaling a practice that is going to be successful and that is going to be sustainable. So I love predictable income. Having a program structure that is billed monthly with predictable income will change your life. Changed my life. It's changed dozens of my business coaching clients' lives. It will change your life. You could pre-schedule all those sessions for ease for both the client and the practitioner. Again, you don't have to be super dogmatic. You can be flexible here, but you can provide that structure which helps clients tremendously understand very clearly, here is what we're going to do. Here is what the program looks like. With multiple practitioners, you can split. So let's say, if there's a doc on board, if you're working in a team practice, maybe 2 of those sessions go to a doctor, 6 of those sessions go to the nutritionist. There's so much follow-up and accountability involved in the multiple session that by the time they get back to that sort of follow-up with the doctor, there's been a lot of amazing, incredible progress. We love that. This is where we were before. The power of programs is having that supportive container, right? You can work really hard on a very clear transformation. So helping folks clearly understand where are they going from? They're starting the program here. What does their future self look like? Where are they going? And it's a structure that your team can follow. So there can be some repeatable aspects of these programs that you can help train people into that makes building a team so much easier. And then here's my favorite, predictable profits, literally life-changing for a business. In order for these programs to work for teams, you have to have a system in place. It's actually a very easy thing to do. It might sound complex, but it's not. Thank you, Practice Better. It's not. It's very easy to have a system in place that works, a really clear program agreement, really clear monthly payment schedule, really clear session schedule. I mentioned this, but elements of the program can be trainable and repeatable. So maybe in your practice, you are focused on GI. Maybe you happen to see the majority of your clients come in with SIBO. You can have aspects of your program that are, specifically you're dealing with in regards to each person. In other words, it can still be personalized, right? And it should still be personalized, but there are going to be repeatable aspects. And trust me, when you've been in business doing this work for 20 years, you say the same thing over and over and over again. So there are aspects that can be repeatable, and you can codify it in a sense. You can create a structure or a system that works really well and that people can be trained on and feel super confident to be able to execute. Okay, so something is happening with these slides. Bear with me, my friends. I don't know why it's doing this, but it's skipping. Okay, there we go. Okay. In order to have programs that work, we have to identify the needs of our ideal client. We have to structure the programs for maximum impact, and that's results driven. And you can use these programs as a tool for team collaboration. You can co-create, you can co-deliver, but I really want to just keep nailing this piece of it, highlighting the transformation that you're helping your clients achieve. don't worry about the stuff. Don't worry about right now. Don't worry about the stuff. I don't want anyone thinking, well, exactly how many sessions are included? What else am I going to throw in? Am I going to throw supplements in? Am I going to throw testing in? Am I going to throw this? Don't worry about any of that. I want you to think about who your ideal client is and what is the transformation that they're looking for. And that's how programs for a team will explode your practice. In a program structure, you have the benefit of time to support that transformation. It is a gift, really. When I'm working with clients and I know I'm going to be seeing them at a minimum 8 times, I have the benefit of knowing that we have 8 sessions to be able to work on this. This is a quick exercise. I'm going to give us a couple of minutes to do this, because here is the thing. You will come back to this over and over and over and over again. So looking at the logistics of the structure of a practice and how we're going to build a team and what's going to happen and all of that, none of that matters if we don't have some of this first. And I will tell you that I keep coming across this transformation exercise over and over and over and over again for 20 years in my practice, in business coaching. We have to nail this. And it will change, right? It can be fluid and it will change. Your ideal client might change. My ideal client has changed probably 10 times in my career. That's okay. But I want you to really get there. I want you to think about, what is your ideal client thinking about, feeling, doing, or not doing? And then the exercise, we're going to take 2 minutes to do this. Start here. Where are they now? What are they thinking, feeling, doing, not doing now? Where are they now? And you can throw some of that into chat. Where are they now? Maybe I'll throw a couple out just to start us off here. Maybe they're feeling stuck. Maybe they're feeling frustrated because they're so bloated after every single solitary meal. Maybe something that they're doing is that they're continuing to take foods out of their diet. They're restricting, they're continuing to take foods out of their diet, but they're not seeing any results. What else? Anybody else have any thoughts here? What are your clients currently thinking now? Thinking, feeling, doing, or not doing? I'm not sure I can see all the comments. Let's see. Okay, Avita, am I missing comments?
Well, I can relay them to you.
Perfect.
Jeannie said clients are feeling off from their usual self, something that has changed even when going back to what used to work. Cassandra says can't lose weight. Jillian says confused with so much misinformation.
Excellent. What you're writing here is gold. It's in chat. If that's you, put it down, analog or digital, screenshot this, remember this, because this is going to be transformative as you're building out how to explode your practice. So now I want you to think about, what in the future do they want to achieve? What is the transformation they're looking for? Right? Thinking change is impossible. I totally get that, feel that. I've worked with so many clients that have that feeling like, I don't even know why I'm trying this. I've tried everything else. Change is impossible. What in the future? What would their future self believe? How can you get them to that transformation? When you're thinking about building a team, nail this ideal client. Nail what the transformation is that your practice is going for. And listen, this might not be one thing. You might have a list of, like, maybe you've been in practice for a long time. Maybe you see a more diverse group of people. Maybe you're not super specific niche. That's okay. There's still going to be some commonalities, right? So think about the future self. Oh gosh, looking for short-term fixes. I just saw Denise. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. What's next? Future, that long-term sustainable habits take time to embody. Yes, true. But what is the transformation that they're looking for? And you know what? I'm going to focus on that one because I hear this all the time from my nutrition interns. As much as we think it, most people aren't looking to transform. They're not looking for better habits, right? What's going to change their life? Maybe they're looking for, they want to feel super energetic. They want to wake up and be ready to tackle the day, right? What does that look like? So think about this. You can come back to this. You can come back to it over and over again. This transformation exercise is super, super powerful, but this is what's going to help you nail this program structure, is understanding what the transformation is that your clients want to go through. Okay, I will move on from this, but you're going to come back to this exercise. So, oh my goodness, do you see? I see what happened. I'm hitting the timeline. All right, we got this. We got this. Predictable profits, the next piece of my favorite thing, predictable profits, is moving from programs into a membership model. And my friends, if there's anything you walk away with today, please walk away with this from my talk. You're going to walk away with a ton more. This is the future. I'm telling you, I've been in this world for 20 years. I am super plugged into the marketing world, super plugged into online marketing. Memberships are exploding. They've been exploding for the last few years, and they are really exploding. And I see such an untapped opportunity here for wellness practitioners. This gets me very excited. So I want to introduce you to something called a back-end membership. And what that means is that you will transition clients. They have to first go through your program structure. This is where we want to nail that program structure. And then you can move them into a membership model. This is recurring revenue, but it is a massive value add for clients, massive. So it helps clients stay motivated, helps them stay committed to health goals. Honestly, one of the other pieces too, it helps them stay connected to you. So one of the big benefits for me in having this program structure is that I am all about building relationships in my practice. I adore working with my clients. I know that when we finish that 4 months, it's actually kind of a strange Band-Aid to rip off, to just be like, peace out. We still want that sort of connection thread. And especially when it comes to health and nutrition, things are ever evolving and changing. So having this membership model is a way for clients to continue to plug in with what you have to offer for a sort of a low monthly cost, but a long-term ability to be able to still be present in your practice. So first, don't think about over-delivering. These sort of back-end memberships, they do not need to be filled with too much. As a matter of fact, memberships that have too many bells and whistles, too many things, fail. Memberships that are succeeding, this is sort of a monthly recurring membership, are pretty streamlined and simple, but it's a connection piece. So it could be one monthly Q&A that your clients can come together for. It's community. You can have a community feature where people chat. It could be food log review. I've seen some practitioners that have very successful sort of membership model after their program where they continue to do food log review once a week for their clients. It can be a meal plan membership. So that is the membership model that I have that has been very successful and has honestly in the last 12 months made a real shift in my business. But that can be a really successful. Mine is a meal plan and a cooking club. So I also cook live with my members once a month, which I love. I love, love, love. But it's such a great way to bring folks that are in my program structure. They are still able to connect with me once a month. We're getting in the kitchen together. It's very, very powerful. You could also, listen, you could do whatever you want. It's your business, but you can build a level of membership to maybe include one check-in session or one follow-up session a month, right? So maybe that's going to be a higher price point, but they stay in this sort of membership model where they're continued to be plugged in with you. So we're at our last tools that are necessary. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Building a team, quite honestly, felt impossible to me a decade ago before I was using Practice Better. It is very simple to do now with Practice Better. And that program model, that membership model, all of that is possible with the tech. You have to have the tech in place, and it's now made very, very simple. You also need an email service provider, so don't sleep on that. That's going to be necessary. You want to be able to automate processes without losing that personal touch. You can do that with the membership model. You can do that with the program model. You can do all of those things if you have the right tools in place. And really, these are just two tools. There's a ton of other things out there that you can sort of add to the mix, but if you have these two tools, you could execute every single thing that we did today. I want to leave time for Q&A, so I'm going to pop over into chat. I just want to mention that there's a little link here. I do one-on-one business coaching sessions, personalized strategies to scale your practice. I have a nice little discount code here for you. Use Bootcamp, and you can jump on in. Okay, I'm going to come over to chat. I want to chat.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abra. And if anyone missed that resource that Abra just popped up, it will also be on the replay page, so do not worry, you will get access to it. Our first question is from Samia, is how do I have a membership model when my practice is very high-end, boutique-y, without making my practice look cheap? I want to keep the high-paying clients as well.
100% you can do both. So I still would keep your high. First of all, a membership does not need to be low cost. Let's think about that. There's no rule here that says a membership has to be low cost. You can have a high cost membership, right? And it's just a way for clients to stay connected with you. So some examples that I've seen in that capacity is saying, hey, listen, my practice is, think about it from the perspective of like a concierge medical practice, right? You can think in that capacity. So my practice is really full. I only take a limited number of folks. After our program is over, in order to stay connected and have access to my calendar to book sessions, join my membership. In addition, we're going to do, whatever, monthly something. So I actually think that high touch practice, more of that concierge model, is very well suited for a higher end membership.
Yeah, I love that. So important. And this is actually another point is, on the topic of money and getting payments, I love that you talk about like money is just an exchange of time too. Simi also is asking, I make people pay for the whole program up front, so a little bit different than doing the monthly model. Mm-hmm. How do you get them to not back out in the middle of the program?
When they're paying all up front?
Mm-hmm.
That is very interesting. So client retention in programs is so important. And the way that you do that is, number one, pre-book all of your sessions. Like, don't allow it to be willy-nilly. I'm booking a 6-month program. I'm paying in full, let's say $5,000. I'm paying in full $5,000. I know that comes with 12 sessions. I get to session 5 and I'm checked out. Right. I'm not really interested in continuing, or life gets busy and I keep thinking, oh, that's something I want to keep doing. And I book your sessions. That's also why I like having that container of time. Right. And I will remind clients if they reschedule, which they are welcome to do. This happens. Just a reminder that this container is 4 months. I have some flexibility. I'll extend it a little bit, but you're not going to get these sessions 3 years from now, right? You have to use them. So pre-book those sessions, and you want to keep clients engaged. You want to keep them engaged because you want them to reach that transformation, right? The other thing to consider is if you're feeling like people are backing out in the middle, maybe your program's too long. Maybe you need to shorten it. So maybe if you're doing 6 month, maybe try a 2 month. And really nail that 2 month, get people involved and see what happens if you bring them over into a membership, but maybe reduce the amount of time together.
That's a great tip. And the time length should indicate, if someone's backing out, what's going wrong over there. On the flip side of that, kind of following your structure of the monthly payments, is how do you protect against clients who want to stop paying after a couple of months when they're in, for example, a 6-month program?
That's a program agreement. Right? So it's a contract. Yeah. It's a contract. Yeah. You have a contract in place that's very easy to set up. As soon as my clients enter into the program, they sign that contract. And if there is a flag there, if at that point they're like, I'm actually not feeling comfortable with that, then I say, okay, let's not engage in it, because I don't want to bring that person into my practice and then deal with issues down the line. Right? So it's a program agreement that's in place.
Yeah, and Emma just popped in the chat forms and waivers, friends, the link there of how to set that up. Question about your team structure from Diana is, do all of your team members report to you, or do they have a service contract with you?
So I don't have a team of nutritionists. I have in the past. I've moved through various models. I have a team of other folks, right? So admin, writers, this, that. I have a team of other folks. They report directly to me. But there's a lot of different ways to do that. If you have a team of nutritionists, I do think it's important to still have that one person. You could bring somebody on who's sort of managing that, or maybe, maybe you have a nutritionist you've worked with for a while and you want to bring her up to lead nutritionist who's helping to manage. I still think having roundtables, case conferences is the most successful way to make sure our practice is running smoothly.
Yes, that's excellent advice. Thank you so much, Abra, for being with us here today and for your advice. I just popped your social and your website back on screen. So if anyone wants to take note of that, we will also be sharing Abra's information in the replay page so you can get in touch with her. Any closing words, Abra?
No, everyone just go out and do the thing. People need to. People need to.
Thank you so much, Abra.
Okay, take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.